Chef last night, which I had never seen, the Jon
Oh,
Favreau
right, okay.
film.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, I was just like crying and be like, see, you should just do what makes you happy. I was like, need to remind
follow your
myself this is
dream.
a Hollywood script, and that, you know, the magic investors don't appear from everywhere to just throw money at your hobby or whatever you want to call it. So, but yeah, that was quite funny, quite timely watch actually.
Yeah, I like that. I saw it at the cinema when it came out, and I watched it a couple of times. Yeah, it's a good sort of fun.
Makes you really hungry.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I was working my way through like a bag of crisps and some mini eggs because I was like, I'm starving watching this.
So that was your Valentine's Day treat then? Watching Chef and getting hungry?
Chris made mac and cheese. Yeah, his mac and cheese is so good. He puts bacon through it. It was amazing. And I had made like big garlic bread baguettes and stuff like that. So he was using them as well with the mac and cheese. But I was just like in a food coma, but because it does like seeing all that cooking and like close-ups of like really delicately plated food and stuff like that. I was like, I'm starving.
A nice thing to do with mac and cheese is see like the wee cherry tomatoes. If you half them and put them on the top, just at the end of it, and they kind of just sort of they soften up a wee bit without getting like totally squishy. That's really nice. Well.
Oh, that does sound good. Do you know, weird fact about cherry tomatoes? I can't ever eat like a whole one because I'm scared that's what an eyeball feels like if you were to burst it in your mouth. And so I've seen too many films, and so they always do have to be cut in half because I could never never burst one in my mouth. Do you know what I mean? I think it's like a texture thing.
Well, they're better if you cut them in half because you can put salt and pepper on them, and that brings out the flavour. Just leave them for a couple of minutes, and it brings out the flavour of them really nicely. Because sometimes, especially at this time of year, they tend not to taste very much because it's out of season and stuff. But we always cut them in half. But now I will continue to cut them in half since you've mentioned that.
So you don't have eyeballs in your mouth.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh.
It's a really strange thing, and I don't know how I've
got
around to it.
I get it.
Know that
I totally understand. Yeah. I think it's probably because I've watched so many horror films. Yeah.
Yeah. So what, have you had a chance to watch much? I know you've obviously been out gallivanting.
Been mostly television stuff. I've been watching. I've been working my way towards the end of season 1 of Landman, the Billy Bob Thornton oil drama set in Texas. It's a Taylor Sheridan program, and it's really good. It's actually quite funny, and there's a lot of good drama in it as well. It's more of a family drama more than anything else, but there's loads of elements to it, and it's really, really watchable. See, once you finish watching one episode, you're like, I could just watch another one. You know, it's only 45 minutes, and you can kind of get carried away. So I've only got one episode left of season 1, and it's kind of been building up really nicely with the various sort of plot elements that should all come together quite nicely. And I know there is a second season of it already, which aired on Paramount Plus last year. I think it was like the middle of last year, so it's still relatively new.
I was going to say, I'm seeing it quite heavily advertised, so I wonder if there's a new season coming then or something.
I think they just choose the ones that have been proven popular to obviously push it. It's all in an effort to sort of push Paramount Plus for people to actually subscribe to it, because it's one of the lesser subscription channels, which, although it's building up a reputation, obviously, because it's got all the Star Trek stuff and it's got all the Taylor Sheridan stuff, or the majority of the Taylor Sheridan stuff as well. Because on my next point, I've been obviously still watching Yellowstone, and I just finished, there's 4 seasons on Netflix of Yellowstone. They've obviously licensed it from Paramount, because they tend to do these, there's a fair amount of sort of cross-platform stuff going on at the moment. Like Disney are showing stuff from ITV for some reason. It's really bizarre. You look on Disney Plus, and there's these sort of ITV dramas and things like that, and like reality shows and things like that on there, just a couple of seasons on them. It's almost like a teaser to not using the other platforms and stuff. And I think ITVX have got some of the Disney content as well. So it's a bit, cross-pollination stuff, promoting each other without totally, licensing everything and making your service irrelevant, that kind of idea. But obviously Yellowstone's been about for, it's finished. So they're not going to really get many more new viewers. So they're punting it out to others as well, which kind of makes sense, I suppose. So I've been sort of working my way quite merrily through that, watching a couple of episodes a week and things like that. But I ended up watching the end of season 3, and I was like, oh my fucking God, it's really like the basis of it is they've got this, the Dutton family have this Yellowstone ranch, which is massive. It's like in this massive big valley, and it's all about protecting the ranch to their own ends. And like the Native Americans, which had the land before it was all sort of parceled up by the white people, want it back. So that was an element of like earlier seasons. And there was a guy who wanted to build a resort. He was building a resort next door, and that was part of it. And then it's really about just protecting the land. And the third season was kind of the same. It's this sort of investment group wanting to open a ski resort and an international airport, of all things. So, and you're kind of thinking, oh, it's kind of the same, you know. And the first couple of episodes starts off that, and then there's like these sort of revelations. And the last episode in the season, you're going, fucking hell! It just goes completely batshit.
Love it.
And it's completely. I didn't see it coming at all. I didn't see the end, and I'm obviously at pains not to spoil it in any way, but it's a big event. I hadn't read anything about it. I kind of stay away from spoilers.
I haven't either. I've never. It's not like Game of Thrones where like you knew. I've never seen it, but I know things that have happened in it. I've never read anything like spoilery about that.
Yeah, so it was like a big thing. I was like, bloody hell, and it was like really it reignites your interest in it going into the fourth season, which is the last one on Netflix. I think there's another one on Paramount as well as a fifth one on Paramount, which they kind of spread out over like a couple of years, that kind of idea. But yeah, that was really good. I was really kind of, this is excellent. Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Also on the BBC, there is a police drama called Linley, which is it's based. No, it's just a remake, I think, of it was the Inspector Linley mysteries, which were
it had the guy with the long dark hair, Nathaniel.
I think
something.
Yeah, it was like the 80s or the 90s. I think it was around, and it's obviously based on books as well. So they've kind of revitalised that, made it from him joining the local police force. He came from the Met, and what they've done. It's the same idea as some sort of ITV police dramas. They've just made 3 or 4 episodes, and they're all feature length. They're all like an hour and a half long. So it gives the sort of story a chance to breathe over one complete episode. And it doesn't mean like they have to stretch out over 2 1-hour episodes either. So it kind of makes sense. And it works very well, but as your kind of standard police procedural, and you know that the person that's vaguely recognisable has probably got something to do with it. You see them early on, and you know they're going to be. So that just comes from watching lots of TV and films, and you recognise people who are going to be in it. That kind of idea. But yeah, it's reasonably good. It was only 4 episodes, all an hour and a half long. It's all on iPlayer. It's quite easy to dip in and out of these things as well. So yeah, that was pretty good. On Talking Pictures TV, they've started showing the original series of The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which is Robert Vaughn and David McCallum. Yeah, so they're showing those like sort of one a week at the moment, and it's really sort of kitsch, and it's not very serious at all, you know, and particularly implausible. A lot of the stuff in the fighting is very sort of 1960s TV fighting. They're all using karate moves and things like that. So it's quite fun. David McCallum's Russian accent is interesting. It like kind of wavers now and again. But yeah, it's quite fun watching it as well, because I'd not seen that for years and years. And even then, it was only sort of bits and pieces. So I've been watching that, and that's quite good. Quite enjoying it. And an offshoot of the sort of the Vampire Diaries, the Anne Rice books. There's a series called Talamasca, which is on Netflix. Again, 6 episodes. It's based around an order of vampires who are based out of, I think it's Amsterdam, but this is based in the London office, and it's got to do with this mysterious book that was lost, which can actually bring an end to the vampires, because it contains all the secrets and the things that can defeat them and stuff like that. And again, 6 episodes. William Fitcher's in it as the big bad, who I mean, he really totally hams it up in this, and it's really, really good. And it doesn't outstay its welcome. I think there's going to be more of it because it was kind of left on a bit of a cliffhanger, but really good series, really interesting. I'm looking more and more for things that just last, sort of limited series. You know, even like 10, 12 episodes, that's fine. But sometimes when you've got that, you have filler episodes and things like that. So something's concentrated just into 6 episodes, that's fine. And it's not like procedural stuff. Like we've got stuff like I'd mentioned before, like Instinct, the Channel 5 one, and that's like about 13 episodes. And then obviously now on Netflix, they've got the rights to ER, which is...
I saw that, yes.
Yeah, and that's like 22 episodes a season, you know, that's 6 months worth of telly over the course of, I think it's like 14 or 15 years.
Yeah.
So that's a hefty investment. It's the kind of thing you just watch occasionally and just sort of get into. The same idea as like I've been watching things like Cheers and the Golden Girls. We just watch an episode now and again. And again, that's hundreds of episodes. I think the Cheers one, which again is all on Paramount Plus, I've watched it in Channel 4 and I recorded it in Channel 4. So there's like, you know, you have 125 episodes of Cheers, and I'm kind of thinking it's more than just a weekend there, you know. So,
yeah. Yeah, we did the same with Everybody Loves Raymond, and like the episodes stack up so quickly, and it's like, right, okay, I know they're only about 20. They say they're half an hour, but they're about 20 minutes minus ads, really. Yep. But at the same time, like it's a big commitment to sit down and watch them all.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I found the ads getting more and more intrusive on Amazon Prime. I've been watching things like Fallout, for instance, and there are 4, maybe 5 sets of adverts on there. Some of them are just like half a minute. Some of them are like 2.5 minutes. It's getting ridiculous. It really is.
But it's probing you to buy, obviously, because it wants to make you annoyed enough that you'll pay for no ads, essentially. Yeah,
aye. And they've obviously introduced new elements to the adverts as well, whereas you've got if it's got like Vileda Super Mops or something like that, you can actually click on it to add Vileda Super Mops to your Amazon basket in the advert now, and there's loads of them like that. Whereas I don't know how successful that's going to be, because people tend to shop around if they're going to buy something. They're going to look at it and say, well, what's the cheapest? Is it cheaper from Amazon, or could I go to Argos, or could I go to Sainsbury's and get it, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's the advertising on Amazon is getting worse and worse all the time. And it used to, they said, oh, it'd be, you know, wouldn't be.
They said it was just top and tail originally. Yeah. They didn't say there'd be anything in the middle.
But now you're getting it in films all the time. You're getting maybe 2 in films, and TV stuff is unreal. It's just sort of standard every 10 minutes or so. It's like watching ITV. Yeah. Except the quality's better. You're watching better quality stuff, obviously. But, yeah, apart from that. In terms of movies, I've not really seen anything because I missed the last press day where they were showing Wuthering Heights because I had work commitments, which was actually quite annoying because the work commitment only lasted about an hour. But by that time, I was asked to do it. So the only thing that I've actually seen, apart from what we're going to talk about, is Farmageddon, the Shaun the Sheep film, which was on.
Oh my God, amazing!
BBC yesterday, and it'll be on iPlayer as well because it's obviously a BBC product. And I just howled with laughter all the way through that. It's just so funny. I know it's aimed primarily at children, but
these films are great.
Yeah, I actually saw that at a press day years ago, and I howled with laughter all the way through that because it's all the wee jokes. You're talking about a sort of joke rate of maybe like 3 or 4 in a minute.
Yeah,
a lot of the time, and it just works so well. And obviously, it's in the tradition of like silent cinema as well, because you've got. They don't speak, they make noises, but nobody actually speaks. They don't say any language at all. And it just works so well, just as a more of a visual medium than anything else. And it was fantastic. Loved every single minute, and I was just chuckling away. And even, it's a sign that's a good thing, because Leslie doesn't watch animated cartoons because it's for kids, which I can totally understand. She sat and watched that as well yesterday, so yeah, it was all good. It was smashing, yeah. So what about yourself?
I been watching quite a lot, actually, now that I look at my wee list. I had a bit of a comfort watch. I went back and watched the Mara Wilson Matilda, because when I was a wee girl, I thought I was Matilda, that way, because I loved to read books, and I was, thought my powers of telekinesis would just automatically start at some point, because they did with Matilda. I really love that film. I love the score. I love the magic. I love Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman as the parents, because they're so bloody awful, but you just love them. And then Miss Honey is just so sweet as well. And so that was just a nice wee, like, sit down, cozy, blanket, comfort watching a Sunday afternoon. That was really nice.
Have you seen the newer one of that? The latest one? I haven't,
because I feel like it's one of these films where I can't go, like, I don't want it to upset the magic that I feel when I watch the original. Like, I strongly associate with that, because I had the book when I was wee, and I remember watching the film. And so I think the new film is based on the musical, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes. Aye.
I'm just too scared I don't like it. I know that sounds really pathetic, but
no, totally. No, it's just, I found out you find that sometimes with music and things like that as well. An artist brings out an album and you love it, and then you hear the first song of the new album, you're going, I don't know if I like this. Yeah. No, I can recommend it. I've seen the film, and it is very good. The film of the musical, it's fun. Yeah. Obviously, I don't have the same association with the older version of it, but I thoroughly enjoyed the new film. And Stephen Graham is the dad in this. He's particularly so good. Yeah.
So I watched that. I've watched a documentary on Netflix, which I highly recommend to true crime lovers, called The Perfect Neighbour, which is about a woman in a sort of like cul-de-sac in the States she's like an elderly white woman, and a lot of other people in the neighbourhood are like people of colour. And she phones the police regularly complaining that the kids are trespassing, in inverted commas, on her land. And the way this documentary escalates is absolutely batshit. And I read into a wee bit about it afterwards. And the internet is very divided as to who is in the right. And it's one of these things where we've all had a bad neighbour, right? But the way, and of course it's the States, everything's like, 10 times over the top. But most of it's like body cam footage from the police who regularly get called out to the neighbourhood, obviously, to deal with her or to deal with the kids or whatever. And it's quite shocking. And it's one of these documentaries where you're like, yeah, only in America would that get to that point, basically. So 90 minutes, definitely worth the watch if you enjoy a bit of true crime. Another documentary that I've watched was John Candy, I Like Me, which is on Amazon Prime. So that's the documentary, obviously, about John Candy. I found that really bittersweet, and obviously with Catherine O'Hara passing away, and she's in the documentary, and they talk about their time on like the Canadian Saturday Night Live and how they all sort of came up together on that comedy circuit. It was quite sad to watch. Like, he was obviously someone who brought a lot of joy to others, but was really unhappy within himself. He was told that, lose weight because you're unhealthy. That's what the doctors were telling him. So he tried to lose weight, but then he wasn't getting any roles because Hollywood wanted him as like the fat, funny guy. So he piled the weight back on and all this. And he was never someone who seemed comfortable within himself, even though he was really talented and obviously really clever. So that definitely is a good watch. All the people that they interview, all the talking heads in that are really, really interesting as well. I also watched a film called Home, which I reviewed for Nordic Watchlist, which starts off in the former Yugoslav Republic, obviously at the start of the various wars sort of breaking out there. And a family are told that they can move to Denmark. They have 3 children. They're told they can only bring 1. So the parents choose to bring their daughters, and they leave their 2 older sons behind with the grandmother. And it's basically just a film about what it means to be an immigrant, to have to learn a language from scratch, to, even though if you have a good job back home, to be put, on the shittiest jobs and the shittiest wages and not really be able to dig yourself out of a hole, essentially, and to not have the better life that you're promised. And obviously in this particular case, there was 2 children left behind as well. So it was a directorial debut for the writer-director, and it was just a good wee emotional watch. It does just kind of make you think, because I daydream all the time about, moving to a wee cabin in Sweden, and then I'm like, I actually don't speak Swedish. So it might be quite difficult, and you might need an income, but it was just a very, very good watch. So there was that. In terms of festival screeners, I've had quite a lot this week. So I have these are all for Nordic Watch List. I have watched Live a Little, which is about two girls who go backpacking through Europe, and there's a sort of traumatic event that happens, and it's about how they come to terms with that as they continue on their travels. There is The Home, which was a cracking wee horror about a young man who has to return to his rural childhood home because his mum's had a stroke. And while she had the stroke, she was dead for 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened to her during those 7 minutes, and what has she brought back with her? And there is some really good fucking scary jump scares in this. Nice. I mean, old people in a home is just scary to me anyway, right? Because obviously it's a home for people who've kind of sort of starting to lose their minds and things like that. But there was a proper, like, there was a moments in this where I really, really did jump out my skin. So I thought that was really well done as well. That's obviously playing at the film festival. And I watched Eagles of the Republic, which stars Fares Fares. He stars as the most famous Egyptian actor. He's known as the Pharaoh of the screen. And there is a military coup in the country, and he's given basically an ultimatum: either do the films that we want you to do, or we're coming after your family because we know that your son's, you know, posting things online that he shouldn't be. So he's sort of forced into this biopic of the dictator, and as he says, you know, Fares Fares is 6'2", full head of hair, really skinny. The dictator's this wee round, bald, you know, fat guy, and he's like, why? How am I playing him? And he sort of goes along with the film, but as the film's getting made, he's getting sucked into essentially sabotage against the government. And honestly, the build-up in this film, I was eating my own face by the end of it. It's so tense, and I think because we've seen so many of these dictatorships like overthrown in our lifetime. Yeah. Like, oh my God, this is exactly how it's happened. You would just get grabbed and put into a car, and they would find your body out in a desert, like, you know, 3 weeks later or whatever. So really, really good film if you can catch it at the festival. And a couple of other ones. I watched Zone of Interest again because Chris hadn't seen it, and it was on Film 4. Oh, what a film. Like, it's the really small throwaway moments of that film that just make you, like, even her mum comes to visit, and she's like, oh, I wonder if such and such is over the wall. She was my neighbour. She was a bit of a git. And you're like, oh my God, they're burning them all. You can see the smoke, and you're worried about your neighbour was an arse. Like, it's so well shot, so well acted. And just, as we've said on this podcast, it's not about what's happening on screen. It's about everything you can hear that's happening. It's just, oh, so good. And lastly, I had a screener of the new Mads Mikkelsen film called The Last Viking, which is about, so it's the director of Riders of Justice and Men in Chicken, so that kind of vibe. About two brothers. One of the brothers comes home after spending years in prison, and he's asked his brother to basically hide his cash while he was away. Mads Mikkelsen has dissociative personality disorder in the film, so he believes he's John Lennon. And they end up at their old childhood home, which is now an Airbnb. And I won't spoil it anymore, but when I tell you I burst watching this film, like, you start off, you're kind of laughing, it's that kind of dark humor. By the end of it, I was absolutely a broken woman. I was sobbing. It's so good. So I'm genuinely begging everyone, if you get to see it at the film festival, this is quite possibly the best I've ever seen Mads Mikkelsen. It's a phenomenal film.
Wow. Praise indeed, because obviously he's got a very good sort of filmography behind him. Yeah. Nice. That's excellent. You have been very busy.
I've been very busy. Been writing. It's one of these things where I'm like, and I'm not usually like obsessive over like film run times, but I'm like, how long is this one? How long is this one? How long is this one? How much can I stack into a day? And then how long is it going to take me to write up the corresponding reviews? So yeah, I have been quite busy, but in a good way, in a very positive way.
Nice. Oh, brilliant.